Tim Reed is standing by right now. Peter's been on my mind, Tim, since he dropped the S-bomb yesterday on the air. So that's,
I knew it was a doozy when I heard that laughing.
Yeah, you just know. The gasping and the
little potty language was floating out there.
Quite literally.
All right, listen, great event last night. And
there's two things I've got to say about that. Number one is I cannot say enough thank yous to Jackie Romano, Dina Guria, and, of course, my lovely wife, Cindy, who put that whole thing together. I think it was probably the best event we've ever had.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And secondly, I was smirking to myself a little bit listening to Jeff in his encounter with Bill Rogers.
I made a mistake.
Which brings new meaning to the term Jeff Manaske can't hold his liquor.
Well, very good point. And the liquor ended up right in the lap of Bill Rogers.
Well, I think that was, if you had to ever spill it on a Hall of Famer or whatever it is, Bill Rogers would be your guy because he's got a pretty good sense of humor.
He really does. And I said earlier,
he was taking pictures with us after it was all done. And, look at the stain on my shirt and stuff. It was,
here's my dry cleaning bill.
And I said earlier I made a mistake that he won the first Boilermaker. It was actually in '83 that he won the Boilermaker.
But he is Tim, though, he won the first Boilermaker because, and correct me if I'm wrong, once he ran this race, it was clear this was a race. This was a big deal.
It went from being a regional race to a national race. It changed the dynamic incredibly.
So that's big as you look through these 40 years. The 40th running this year. A big, exciting weekend. So just in a nutshell, I know you're really busy today, and we'll just take a couple minutes. But in a nutshell, the expo, there's shuttle service out there. I mean, just make people aware of a few things they should be aware of for this weekend.
Well, yeah. So one of the things is because we've moved the walk to MVCC. This is kind of new to us again, and there were a couple hours last year on Saturday, which is kind of the big day, where the parking lots are totally filled. So we're trying to get as much parking as possible. So if somebody doesn't want to pull into the MVCC parking lots, we have the ability to be able to shuttle them from Proctor, which is, right across the way, drop you off near Payne Hall and pick you up. And it's going to start at 6:30 and go till 1 o'clock. The one thing we're obviously watching a little bit is, the weather looks spectacular for Boilermaker Sunday.
Yeah.
Certainly a little bit of concern about what we're looking at for both today and tomorrow. Tonight we've got the volunteer party, and it's out in an open field under a tent, and they're talking about the potential of thunder and lightning. Likewise, tomorrow morning with the kids run with 1,600 kids. So this afternoon we're going to have to probably make a call on the volunteer party, and also looking at the kids run because we just can't. There just isn't enough cover to deal with that many people and keep things safe, and that's really what it's all about.
How many volunteers, by the way?
5,000.
5,000.
Wow.
5,000 volunteers.
Think about that number. So if you've got 20,000 participants, that's one volunteer for every 4 runners. I don't think that there's any race in the country, if not the world, that has a ratio like that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It really is amazing. And then you get to Boilermaker Sunday, and, of course, all the things that people know. The roads will be closed, get there early, all of those things. And being 40 years, the post-race party is... What was the first post-race party, by the way? Was there a post-race party? Did they end up at the brewery and have a drink?
There was a bunch of us. We weren't even in where they have Saranac Thursday.
Yeah.
We were out in the street, okay? And they had like a couple kegs of beer. And actually there is a picture somewhere of Earl with a shovel, okay, shoveling up the plastic cups because we had to clean up the mess after it was all done.
Right, wow.
And we've gone from that. Then we went into where Saranac Thursday was. Mm-hmm. We were there for a number of years, and then it just got too big there. Then we moved to the back. In the first couple of years, it looked like, nothing was going on because that parking lot is so filled, is so big. And then now it's jammed.
Yeah, 45,000 plus people will be there on Sunday morning to witness all this. It's really quite a It's funny because I spoke with Maxine Nightingale and her agent about coming in, and yeah, they're expecting, okay, it's at a brewery. It's going to be like a little mixer, and there'll be some runners. And I said, you do realize she's going to be playing in front of 45,000 people. And they're like, excuse me? I said, it's 45,000 people will be there on Sunday morning. So she's quite excited. I'm not sure it's been like that since the 70s, just for the record.
Well, I think it's a few more people than when you brought her into City Hall
yes.
a few years ago.
That was, there might have been 40 people there that night. It was raining and pouring and cold. Yeah. It was just terrible. But anyway.
I'm excited for this being the 40th and kind of, upping our game and looking at what we've got from an entertainment perspective. And also getting the opportunity, and I think you're having Greeley on whatever, to really feature and Justin to feature kind of the best of the local talent. I mean, if this is the biggest local event in our community, then shouldn't we, in fact, use local musicians? We've done that. New video board, I think, is going to be spectacular. I think that really kind of has moved us into the 21st century, which would be over the stage. So a lot of really good stuff.
Very cool. It's finally here. 40th running of the Boilermaker. Tim, as always, we appreciate it. And
thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Well, and I hope your team wins the Colander Cup.
Oh, Tim, it's not a question.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right, good stuff. Tim Reed.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.